Hello and welcome back to Getting Handsy. Today I really just want to ask you guys a question. But before I get to that, I kind of want to lay everything out. So with everything that has happened with Warhammer 40k lately, which I guess supposedly there's even more controversy again this week with some community statement they made or something that they then had to change because it made even more people mad. And then this whole trench crusade debacle, if that's what we're calling it, I guess. Basically, it was slaughtered like a deformed infant in Sparta, you know? But that's got me to thinking, where do I go from here? I was kind of specifically looking for some weird, loosely historical war game that Trench Crusade might have filled that gap. It might still, who knows, but I'd like some options, I guess. So I went looking through my collection to see if I could find any models that might work for Trench Crusade or something like it. And I came across a creator that I have been getting models from for like 3 to 4 years, but I've never actually printed because I've never found a game to use them for. And they're really cool models, so I'd like to find something. So this is Kiyoshineko. Yes, that's how I'm pronouncing it. No, I have no idea if that's correct or not. But I have been following them for a long time, gotten a lot of their models. They basically do fantasy and they say grimdark sci-fi each month, but I don't really think they're that much sci-fi anymore. They kind of started out with like some sci-fi dwarves, and so again they do fantasy and sci-fi each month, and these are kind of where they started, at least where I got them at. Their sci-fi was kind of the dwarves, and then they really did a lot of fantasies, what I got into them for originally. That's why there was a lot here. And they slowly started branching out into different types of fantasy. Some goblins. Still, again, sci-fi-ish. And then eventually, let's see, where does it change? At a certain point, right in here, they switched to... It's like this World War II steampunky, which I guess maybe Dieselpunk, which now I know because that's a thing, which didn't know those were different. But so they got into this historical, not sort of historical thing, which I really like. And it's just this certain style that I have seen before, but haven't seen a whole lot of miniatures for, I guess. But yeah, there's just something about seeing like World War II characters next to like a robot or some sort of specialty tank that wasn't there before in actual history. It's just, it's cool. Yeah, so you got these like big suits. It's that whole Wolfenstein thing again. But I like that. And then another thing I like is each month they show kind of their references for what's coming up, which I appreciate because I like to see kind of the process of how creative people are doing their creative things. So it's always kind of nice seeing their little things. And then I think at the beginning of the year they do polls that all the people in their tribes and Patreon can vote in to see what's going to happen this year. And so then... Yeah, so we've got some of their references and then what they're working on. It's a cool concept. I like it. And I like the kind of transparency of what they're doing and what they're thinking about for the upcoming models. It's fun. Just to give a little bit more examples, I had some picked out. So like they had these original, like I think these were the Germans. Germans. World War II spider tanks are always cool. So they've got that historical, idea going, but then they've got the fantastical sci-fi steampunk stuff. This was the second part of that. More German soldiers. You got the old motorcycles that was World War II, as far as I know. Regular tanks, but then, another spider tank. This one's actually more like Ghost in the Shell. It reminds me of those, the spider tanks in that, is it Tachikoma or whatever they are. Then right after the German army came the British army. Again, pretty standard. You got the World War II British soldiers, but then you've got like this weird walking, almost a dreadnought type thing, with a regular tank. And then the more British soldiers, this time with an actual mech. So, and then I guess these are robot soldiers now that I'm looking close. Okay, hadn't noticed that before. Nice. And then the armored ones. That was something I think that was also in the German. They have these heavily armored ones, which I don't think is necessarily accurate to history. You know, it's that fantastical side again. But then the newer ones that they've been getting into now, they're kind of branching out into, I guess, less, not necessarily less known, but less standard World War II type of, I guess, armies. So, like, now they're doing Australian Pacific. And so they've got the, like, Aboriginal type characters, or soldiers. And then the, like, more Australian-y ones, I guess. And specifically, well, this went along with them too, like their little hats. You got the giant walker thing, but then these are the ones I really liked. They're like, and I don't quite understand it. They remind me of the AdMech, newest AdMech walkers, or maybe the horse guys. I don't remember it. Can't think of it right now, but it's one of those. For some reason, I'm seeing AdMech with these. But either way, I think they're really cool, and they're fun models that I have nothing to use them for. So long story short, I've got a ton of these models, and they're sitting there looking awesome, but I have nothing to do with them. I've searched a bit, like, you know, around, but I don't know of any games that would use them. So I guess my question for you is, do you know of any World War I, World War II era steampunk, dieselpunk type of games out there? Or are there any games just in general that you think these would be cool to use as proxies? I could see some of these being used for Imperial Guard. That would be cool. I mean, they'd be a little bit weird sci-fi setting, but that's kind of the Guard in general. But yeah, so there's that. Let me know what you all think. What can I use these for? What would you use them for? Are there any games that I should check into, or what are your thoughts on this creator just in general? Let me know down in the comments. If you made it this far, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. And as always, thanks for watching.